He was 44 when he died.
Did you receive any shame for the way that he had passed? Was there any shame there?
Absolutely.
Keely.
Yes.
Okay. I like totally have Kaylee in my head. Like, I don't know.
I feel like it's natural. Everybody does that.
Do they
Keely
really?
or Kelly, Kaylee. Yeah, everything but.
I was looking at your Facebook and I'm like, it's got to be Kaylee, right? It's not Kaylee. It's Keely. It's Keely. Where did you get that name from?
I don't know.
I don't know a lot of Keeleys. I see. I'm gonna have a hard time saying it because I got Kaylee in my head.
Think the fruit, kiwi.
Kiwi. I'm like terrible with names anyways. Like I'm the worst. So are you like related to Darson then?
Yeah. We're second cousins. So his dad and my mom are first cousins.
See, that all that gets confusing to me. I have no
who would it be? His grandpa is my grandma's brother.
Okay.
So
that doesn't help at all. I'm still lost. Yeah. I get silly lost. So I'm like just kind of looking at your Instagram page here. Mm-hmm. Graphic designer.
Yep.
I love graphics too. Like it's fun and very challenging. What's the hardest part? We're just going to dive right into the podcast. Can we just do that? Let's just dive into it. But what is the hardest part about graphics? The font for you?
I love fonts.
Yes, I love them.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm very particular, and like you have to match the fonts to like the mood and the vibe or whatever. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I think the hardest part is like you kind of have to like put psychology into it. Like you kind of have to, I don't know, like have a good feel for who your client is, basically.
Sure. Graphic designer. Because you're an educated folk too. Like you went to school for graphic designing. Yeah. See, I'm like hard knocks, university, graphic stuff.
Hey, in hindsight, I wish I didn't because still got to pay for it. So
right. And then I'm just like reading your bio, personal plus commercial branding. Mm-hmm. And you can like dissect that down. Real estate marketing. Nice. More. Advertising, retro portrait. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is. I'd be interested to see what that is. Event photography, custom apparel. Mm-hmm. Let's dissect your bio here, Keely, because like obviously a graphic designer, photographer, you take pictures and stuff.
Yes. The photography part, I like to do portraits because I love people. I don't know.
Okay.
It's always been my favorite photography. The advertising, or I guess real estate marketing. I don't know where to start. Like, I don't know.
let me ask you a fun question because it's fun for me. What I always talk about like the editing software. Mm-hmm. Who do you use? What do you use for editing?
Photoshop for like blemishes and color correcting, I guess, and then Lightroom for like the presets and the lighting that I like.
Do you use the presets a lot?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Do you that's like do you use the premium?
I do buy them and
presets.
Then you have to like download them and all that. Yeah.
Isn't that fun? That's
a little tedious, but
it is. Like I have Lightroom. I use it. I mean, I use it occasionally. I'm not like a photographer. I do take pictures every now and then, and I'll throw it in Lightroom and check out the presets and color correction, whatever. But yeah, it's just like it's like AI. It takes the hard work out of editing. Yeah. What do you think about AI?
Anti-AI.
Are you anti-AI?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to do everything myself still, just because I'm pretty picky and like I have an established style, I feel like. I
like the style.
Yeah.
I like the style.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was looking through some of these photos you took, and I was like, okay, I like those presets. I like that.
I like warm colors.
Yep.
That's where the retro comes from, I guess.
I can
like
see that
warm
warm colors.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Keely, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
We are in season 2 of the Walnut Street podcast, Normal People, Extraordinary Stories. Or maybe it should be this. Sabrina said, why isn't it Ordinary People, Extraordinary Stories?
That's good.
No, it's Normal People, Extraordinary Stories. Timmy, the producer, doesn't even know. But have you watched any of the episodes?
All of them.
You've watched all of them? Thank you.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that.
No
favorite one? You can.
I would say Seth's, just because he was like really vulnerable in it. Like I didn't expect anything like that to come from him, I guess.
Do you know him?
Not really even well. Like he was older than me in high school.
Okay.
So I guess I just know him from high school. Know of him.
That story, I mean, I don't know. It's definitely going to probably stay at the top for a while.
Yeah.
But we did record an episode today that's going to blow your sock. Like it's we thought we were getting one story, but we got a whole nother story. We had no idea. You think you know people?
Yeah.
You ain't got a clue.
Yeah.
So it was a good episode. But Seth, it's just, I love the way he articulated his story. Like he told his story.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time, I think, right? I mean, as far as like a podcast type format, like first time he's ever done that. And I think he did an incredible job. I was so proud of him.
Yeah.
He's come a long way. But well, just thanks for watching. We really do appreciate it. Keely. Oh my gosh. See, I'm going to do it all. I'm going to do it the whole time. Keely. Guys, it's Keely. Those who are watching, it's Keely, okay? But you said you are related to Dar.
Yep.
Cousins or second cousins. He's an amazing young man.
He's pretty cool.
They were on the show. What episode was that? Was that 2? Episode 2, Darson and Braxton. Mm-hmm. That was a great story too. Just really thankful for everybody who takes the time to come on the show. So thank you in advance. It's really amazing because you are from?
I'm from North Manchester, actually. Well, I guess originally South Whitley is where I started.
Okay. So. South Whitley.
Yeah.
Did you grow up like in town, South Whitley?
No, out in the country.
Out in the country. So you're a country girl?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you on a farm or
no? Just out
in the sticks.
Yeah.
I get it. Me too. I grew up in the sticks too. But just thank you again for just taking the time for listening. Mm-hmm. What would you tell the people who are watching right now? Like, should they subscribe?
Oh, absolutely.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
Share maybe and like and all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So before we get like to all of the story, kind of what we discussed about a little bit beforehand, or you messaged me on Instagram. What makes you Keely? Who is Keely? Give us the rundown.
I would say currently I'm a mother, a graphic designer, a photographer, a landlord.
Oh, you own property.
Yes.
Are you a good landlord?
I try to be.
So you're not?
I'm just a very clean person, so I guess
I get it.
I'm just a landlord with standards.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Right? So if something breaks, are you quick to get it fixed? Is that part of the...
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a mom of how many children?
Just 2.
Just 2? Well, just 2 is enough.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. Right. I get it totally. I have 2 kids too, so I understand. Photographer. Mm-hmm. You own property.
Yep.
What else?
Still girlfriend at the moment, but...
What? What's the dude's name? We'll call him out right now.
Yeah.
Right. We're gonna call him out right now. How long you guys been boyfriend, girlfriend?
We met in 2019. So
okay. What's he waiting on?
I don't know.
We'll
see.
Okay.
It's in the books. It's in the books.
You think it's coming?
I think, but I don't even want to think about it until.
Do you think it's gonna come this Christmas? Like that's what's.
Nah.
No. I get it. I mean, not really, but
it'll happen. I'm not worried.
You're not worried about it? That's cool. What else?
I don't know.
Grew up in North Manchester, or kind of North Manchester area.
Yeah, ended in North Manchester, I guess. Mm-hmm. High school, I guess.
What do you think about living here?
I mean, I think it's a very safe place.
Yeah.
Small town, like compared to Fort Wayne. I don't know. I just remember like coming home from college and like you don't have to lock your car or anything like that. So I feel like it's pretty safe here. I mean, I don't know. I feel like most people don't here maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good thing to say.
It's definitely. We moved here 5 years ago from Indy, and you lock everything in Indianapolis, like everything.
Yeah, that's how it is in Fort Wayne. So,
what part of Fort Wayne do you live in?
Northeast. It's off of St. Joe Center Road.
Okay, my grandma and my aunt and uncle live in Fort Wayne.
Really?
Do you like living there?
I do. I don't know. I kind of miss the country for sure.
Yeah.
I would rather not be so close to everybody because I live in a subdivision. So.
I hate living in a subdivision.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. We lived in a subdivision in Indy. Did not like it. I mean, it had its pros and cons. Mm-hmm. Up here, like a mile from Meijer, Starbucks, like all the. Now it's here. It's like you're driving if you want something.
Yeah.
But So, photographer, how long you been a photographer?
Probably since, I guess, I graduated from Benson's. So that was 2018. So I guess since then, which my work, I wouldn't say it was like, like professional to begin with at all.
Well, you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, I've come a long way, I think.
Yeah. Do you follow people? Who inspires you?
There's actually a couple of like local photographers, like Fort Wayne locals. There's like Memories by Morgie. I like her.
Okay.
She has a good style. Honey Lens Imaging, they're good too. I don't know. They just edit their images really well, like clean, and yeah, that just looks good.
Okay. I mean, because like on the creative side, we always have people we try to like, I don't know, we glean from, we like learn from, on the creative element side. I have a lot of people that I follow, like, but I also try to like make my own name too.
Yeah.
So how do you think you do that? How do you differ from some of these other people?
I don't know. I feel like I try to make it an experience more than just like pose like this, pose like that. Like I kind of like to get people like moving. Like I make people dance or like, they're barefoot, or I like for my clients to like talk to each other during the
more
session.
Like natural, organic.
I like to catch those.
Not like the JCPenney snapshots. Like,
really. Oh, those are hilarious.
Aren't those funny though?
Awkward photos.
Those are so funny. Like what were we thinking in 1995? going to a JCPenney and getting some headshots with your family. I mean, I think we have some. So, but it's ridiculous. Yeah. Cool. So what's the dream? What's the dream for the business? Because this is what you do for a living, right? Yeah. What's the dream?
I don't know. I mean, I think kind of for me, it's more of a hobby a little bit because I feel like my main priority is to be a mother, like take care of the kids. So I don't know. I just kind of do it as like a side gig just to kind of keep us comfortable, I guess. Help out a little bit. I don't know. But I don't know. I would like to be like the preferred like Fort Wayne photographer. I would love to be a wedding photographer, maybe like just weddings, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get there.
What do you think stopping you? Just the time commitment?
Maybe that, and just like you have to kind of build your clientele a little bit more. So I don't know. Maybe I just need to get out there even more, more sessions. I don't know.
Well, there's a little bit of gear talk because I love gear. What do you use? What are you shooting with?
Canon.
Always
Canon,
huh?
Yeah.
What lens?
Oh, gosh. I think 85 to 100 maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Gotcha.
I have a couple different ones, but I don't know. I don't really pay attention to what they're called. I kind of just like put them on and see if I like it.
I get it. No. You set it, your computer, your camera to like auto? Is that what you are? Do you actually?
I mean, I'm trying to get into manual, but it's hard.
It's a whole other game.
Yeah, you have to dive into it and really like learn it. And I'm just so like fast paced. I like,
Aren't you thankful for YouTube University though? Do you ever watch a lot of YouTube
I do actually.
Learn?
Yeah, I learn a lot from YouTube. Yeah.
That's the YouTube University. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Keely, why are you here today?
I guess, I don't know. I just kind of want to like give my testimony, tell my story, because I've always kind of wanted to find like a community of people that have been through the similar thing, because I feel like things that I've been through, like I don't at all think it's the worst of the worst. Like I'll never claim that, but I don't know. I just maybe feel like I haven't met enough people that have been through the same things and like can kind of like talk about it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So you're here today to talk about that.
Yeah.
Before we do, guess what time it is? It is time, and I'm sorry, I've already opened mine.
Oh, that's okay.
People already know what I'm drinking. I'm drinking Cherry Limeade Ghost, but you have a new one on the show.
Phase Pop.
Phase Pop. And I've already spoiled that for you. It's terrible. It's Ghost. I have no idea what you were doing with this one here, but it's terrible. So you go ahead and give the people the snap.
Alrighty. There we go. Not yet. There we go.
It's terrible.
Oh boy.
Sorry. I'm spoiling for everybody out there who's watching. It's terrible.
It's not that bad.
Oh,
I thought it would be worse, to be honest.
It's so bad. So this is your first one. You've never had a Ghost before, right?
No, I'm an Alani New girl. So
Alani New. What is that? I'm trying to think.
It's like the girly energy drink, I guess.
Oh, is it like what's the one my daughter drinks?
Celsius. Maybe?
Yeah, Celsius.
Similar to that. Yeah, no sugar or anything, but just tastes pretty sweet, I guess.
It's like a Gucci drink. It doesn't do anything for it. It's just stupid. But I like Ghost. Because you're digital marketing, right?
Yeah.
Do you not love how they market their energy drinks?
It's pretty masculine looking, I would say. But
it is. I mean, you should see the guys, you know, a bunch of bodybuilders who did this. But I just love the texture of the can. I love the marketing of this.
Yeah, the texture is pretty cool.
Like, it's just crazy. You can see, like, their story on YouTube. And I'm not promoting them, but I kind of am. But they just, you can see their journey, how when they started to now. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm so inspired by entrepreneurs. I'm always, like, dreaming and trying to think, what is Tyler's thing? What is, you know, of course I pastor all that stuff too, but like I got something in me still, you know, like there's a lot I want to create, and because I love the digital space, I love creative space, I love all of that. And Keely's on the show today, digital creator. I mean, what about videographer? Do you do anything like video work, editing, nothing?
I would say I dabble in it, but I don't have any gear or anything like that. For video, I usually just use my iPhone in the like cinematic, you know.
I mean, it shoots 4K.
Yeah. I mean, it looks really good. I've made a lot of ads that way.
It is incredible. People don't understand. This is like literally an $1,800 camera in your hand.
Yeah.
It really is. 4K, I mean, you can change your I can't think of the word.
The AF or whatever,
Yeah,
focus.
You can change everything. Everything can be changed. And like if you, you know, I think it was Casey Neistat that always says, like, it's not about the gear. It's about the story. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter what gear you have, as long as you have a good story. Right. Like, and I love that. You know who Casey Neistat is? Oh man, you know Casey Neistat? Anybody in here? Nobody? He's a huge YouTuber. He kind of used to be. But anyways, all right. I digress. Okay. Keely.
Yes.
Let's start.
Okay.
So let's tell what's on your heart today, man. Or Keely. What's on your heart today?
I don't know. Okay. So I kind of wrote things down because I feel like I'm kind of a horrible storyteller. So
yeah.
I'll start at the beginning, really. I was born in Wabash, Indiana.
I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm kidding.
To Nick and Bridget Carter. They were married at the time.
Okay.
They didn't work out, and they split up when I was a baby. Okay. I think maybe I was 1, maybe even before 1. So then that kind of, you know, like changed the family dynamic a little bit. We had to go to a babysitter and things like that. Mm-hmm. It's going to get real quick.
Okay. We're like, it's getting fast. It's going fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we had to see a babysitter. My mom worked. I think she was just kind of like doing restaurant jobs at the time. Mm-hmm. And my dad was a truck driver. So we saw him every other weekend pretty much growing up. And the babysitter that we had when we were younger, she kind of like exposed us. I say us because it's me and my older brother. We have the same 2 parents.
Okay.
So she exposed us way too early. We were little kids to pornography. Like,
okay.
She would be babysitting us and she would just put it on the TV. Like, crazy. Crazy. I don't even know how old I was, like very, very young, but I remember it. Like I have a great memory. Unfortunate for these people. It's a great memory.
Wow.
So I think that was like the start of kind of like the perversion of my childhood. Mm-hmm. So then a little bit down the line, and so my mother, I don't want anything that I say to kind of come off like I'm speaking badly about her. I kind of just want to like say the facts.
Sure.
That's how I mean it, I guess. So she had quite a few boyfriends, you know, after my dad. And she eventually met my 2 younger siblings' dad. And I think this was shortly after she had my little brother. So I would have been about 6 or 7, I think. This was like the second incidence of perversion in my childhood, I guess. Mm-hmm. I was actually molested at the age of like 6 or 7. And nothing ever happened like with it at all, which I still don't understand. But
like you mean as far as like...
As far as like him like getting in trouble for it, you know? And actually I didn't tell anyone for a while until my mom took me to the courthouse to get my dad in trouble because he like let me have a sip of beer. Like he was just a goofy guy. Like I'm pretty sure that I remember the incidents. Like I was handing it to my dad and like being goofy, like, oh, I'm going to take a drink. And then like, he was like, okay, do it. And I did. And I was like, this is disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
what kind was it?
I think Bud Light.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Okay.
So then, so she took me to the courthouse to like, kind of, I guess, tell on my dad for that. But while we were in this room with this lady, the girl asked me like, have you ever been like, touched in a way that you didn't want to be? And I just like plainly was like, yeah. And my mom was like, what? Mm-hmm. Like, what do you mean? Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, I have. So then like they brought, the dolls out and I had to kind of like demonstrate what happened. And
you're how old?
So my little brother, I'm pretty sure he's 7 years apart from me. And it had to have been shortly after he was born because when the incident happened, everybody was upstairs. It was, on that side of their family, like my sibling's uncle. So not like related to me, but so that.
This day keeps getting more interesting and interesting, doesn't it?
It's a messy one. I halfway feel like scared about it, but
take your time. There's no rush here.
Yeah. So he was a teenage boy and I'm just like a little girl. Like that's just insane to me. Totally plays into like me being a very protective parent now. Like we don't even want anyone watching our kids, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that happened. Nothing ever really happened with it. Eventually my mom ended up leaving my younger sibling's dad. And then, I don't know how old I was, but a couple years, I'd say, after that, she met someone at a concert, moved us 2 hours away from our dad. So just like created a lot of distance there. But we still we had a good relationship with my dad growing up for the most part. So we moved, I think, 3 schools total. First it was South Whitley is where we started. And then, I think 4th grade, I went to Western Boone, Thorntown area. Okay. It's kind of like Indy area.
Yeah. I was just there a couple weeks ago.
Really?
In Thorntown, yeah.
Yeah. So went there. And then eventually that relationship ended, my mom and that guy. So then we moved back to Manchester. Not back to, but I guess like kind of closer to our family here. And then we started school, finished out high school at North Manchester.
What year did you graduate?
2016.
Okay.
Yep. And then, so like to talk about high school a little bit, I would say I went through like a little, rough patch or whatever, but I feel like I was dealing with a lot as like a teenager.
Yeah.
Because my mom was, again, not to talk bad about her, but she was pretty absent. Like she was drinking a lot, always at the Moose downtown, just stuff like that. And
there's hesitation when you say this. Why is there hesitation?
I'm so scared. Like I don't want to out anyone or like, you know what I mean? Feel like I'm gossiping. Like I am pitting out from it. I'm so nervous.
But isn't it weird? No, maybe not even weird is the right word. Why is it that the people who are the victims feel the most afraid to share what has happened to them?
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're the victim.
That's true. On the way here, like I was thinking about that and it's just like, but I was kind of like wrestling with myself. Like I want to tell my story genuinely. So it's not like I want to, like speak badly about anyone. It's just, this happened to me. I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Really.
I say that because like every guest who comes on, they're like, I don't want to say their name. Like I told her, I respect what you're trying to say, but you're the victim.
Right.
And I think it's sweet that people care about other people's feelings. But to what cost? Like to what end?
Right.
Do we like even now? Like there's things that I'm covering up, and like eventually we will share on the podcast.
Yeah.
That I've covered up for years because I don't want the negativity, the impact that it will have when it's shared.
Right.
And it will be shared.
Yeah.
So I have to come with the reality, whatever comes with that, because it's your story.
Yeah.
Like you can't help that it happened to you.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we were just recording earlier today, like an episode, and it's like everybody who's been through so much, they feel like they feel bad because they don't want to tell it because it's going to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
You're the person who's got hurt. You're the victim here.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I don't know.
It's just so complex and like complicated. It feels. It's I don't
a lot
know.
of people are involved, families, communities.
Yeah.
Like I totally get it. But
And I'll say this too. I think my mom did do the best for what she knew and like what she had, but like unfortunately it wasn't the best.
I totally respect what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with with the fact that we give people like you did the best you could.
Mm-hmm. I do hate hearing that too because I've heard it.
But did you?
Yeah.
But did you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I mean, I it's your story.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to pick it apart. I'm just trying to, I just wonder why we're like that as humans. Like we're the victims, and yet we feel sorry or empathetic for the person who did the crime, whatever. You know what I mean? I
agree. Yeah.
I don't know, but I do want you to. I want you to go back to that 6-7-year-old girl, because you hear these crazy stories about. It's always the uncle. I know.
I thought about that today too. Like how stereotypical. Like seriously,
it's the freaking uncle.
It's awful.
I'm not trying to laugh, but I'm like, what is going on with the uncles, bro? Like,
for real.
So like you're 6 or 7 years old, and you were in a house with everybody.
Okay. Yeah.
Can we talk about that a little bit?
I'm fine with it.
Whatever
really.
you feel comfortable doing.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to.
Totally.
I'm
fine.
I just know a lot of people who've sat in your shoe, like, or in your shoes right now too.
Yeah. So the scenario, I guess, was like, it had to have been like a family gathering or, like I said, I feel like my brother had been born by the time because why else would everybody be so distracted, you know? So the only people that were downstairs, which they had like a finished basement and everything. There was a bar down there, a couple bedrooms and like it was finished, looked nice down there, whatever. But the only people that were downstairs were me, my older brother. He's only a year and a half older than me. And then the uncle. And I don't know how old he was, but I'm just going to say teenager because I know he was a lot older than we were. Mm-hmm. But it had to have been his idea or maybe my brother's. I don't remember. But the scenario was playing hide and seek.
Okay.
So somehow my brother ended up being the seeker. And so it's me. I remember I went into this bedroom and it was a dark bedroom. Like I sat down or whatever. And then here comes the teenager, the uncle. Mm-hmm. And he sat behind me and just, touched me or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I remember him asking me if I was scared. And like in my head, I'm a little girl thinking like, well, if I say yes, like, am I going to get hurt or in trouble? Like, so I said no. And that's pretty much all I can remember with how that happened. And then I remember I didn't tell anyone until that when my mom took me to the courthouse.
Okay.
So, but it's just crazy to me, like, because as a mother now, like, how could you not say something? How could you not do something? Like, if someone did that to my little girl, I wouldn't stop until like justice was served. Like there's just no way.
I can't even go there.
I got goosebumps.
I can't. I mean, I have a 14-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
I can't even mentally go there.
Yeah.
I sincerely pray I never ever have to walk through this because I don't know who I'd become.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know. And it scares me. Mm-hmm. But you kind of you said it earlier, like you don't let your kids go anywhere.
Yeah. I know that like in today's world, there's the term helicopter mom. Mm-hmm. I don't care.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
It just means like you're like, you hover, like
okay,
you're always there.
You better believe it.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't care. Yep. That's me. Like,
yeah, I'm a
helicopter mom.
Yeah. I'm the heli dad.
Yeah. It's just not, it's not going to happen as, if I can help it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do you deal with that now?
See, the funny thing is like growing up, I don't think that it affected me because I like pushed it down, didn't talk about it, didn't think about it. But like, I think like when I was a teenager, I think it started affecting me. Like I just like the self-worth thing, like always had a problem with that and like the body image thing and just, I don't know. I feel like I let myself be taken advantage of quite a bit just because I always felt like I couldn't say no or something like that. And that's pretty messed up.
It is jacked
I hate
up.
that,
You know, so you got like 2 strikes against you. You have the sick uncle, and then you have the babysitter pornography.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that is I can relate because I have images like burnt in my brain from like a young boy. Like I'm talking like 10 years old of porno, like images that I've prayed like, God, why do I have these? Like, I can't even, I don't even understand. Why was that? Why is that still, I'm almost 40 freaking years old and it's still like burnt in my head. Like what's up with that?
On a side note, I watch this podcast every now and then, as much as I can, really. It's called Girls Gone Bible, and it's kind of fun.
See what you did there. See what you did there.
But one of the girls, she says, like, whenever she gets, like, intrusive thoughts or anything, she says, like, in the name of Jesus, I, expel you from my mind. And I started doing that.
Okay.
So maybe, I mean, you could
So
try
you're
it with
like,
that,
you're an in the name of Jesus kind of girl.
I mean, it feels weird to say that because just I don't feel like I'm the best Christian at all ever.
Oh,
you know,
you're not. Shoot.
I mean,
dang it.
I know.
Stop this. We're done.
I gotta go. But I truly feel like that does help when you just speak that in your mind.
Does.
Yeah,
it does. I mean,
I think so.
Walking in faith like most of my life, but it's just crazy how the devil really, I'm not trying to over spiritualize the conversation, but like, it's just truly the attacks of the devil. Like how he'll take the smallest things when you're an infant and literally try to just like take you off course your whole entire life because of that. And I had no control over it.
Yeah.
You had no control over it.
That's the sad thing.
That's the sad part. I had no freaking control over it.
Yeah. Definitely.
So, I have to go back to the uncle just real quick. Mm-hmm. Do you still see him?
No, there was one instance where I did see him because my younger sister had like a Christmas program at Manchester. And we were all kind of like standing out in the common area or whatever. And I had no idea that he was there, but I remember just like turning my head and he was right there. And I just like got like a pit in my stomach and I was like tapping my mom, like trying to get her attention. And she just kind of ignored me. Like, and I remember I told her out in the car, like, she didn't do anything. Like,
Why? Do you know to this day, like, why?
I know that she has her own, childhood stories and things she went through, but I don't know. That side of the family just kind of brushes everything under the rug. Nothing happened. Like, I don't think they want to deal with things like that, but it's like it's happening. Like, you need to deal with that stuff.
There's a word, accountability. Whatever happened to holding people accountable for their actions?
Yeah. I feel like people just like are too scared to be embarrassed or something, but I don't know. I feel like I'm an open book. Like if anyone genuinely asks me a question, I'm going to genuinely tell you the answer. Like,
One of my favorite authors is Brennan Manning. I don't know if you've read any of his books. I would highly recommend that you start with Ruthless Trust and go from there. But Brennan Manning says in his book, Ruthless Trust, the first thing we all have to let go of is our ego. And I'm truly vulnerable, transparent, and I don't. Those are buzzwords, but I just believe in people being transparent with one another, and like I don't put up a mask anymore. I used to, and I was really good at wearing a mask in front of people. Like I can smile and be this pastor, but now I'm just like I just want to be so real and transparent. Like I'm broken too, and I've been through some crap, but yet by the grace of God go I. You know what I'm saying? Like for some reason we tried to cover up our mess, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not covering this crap up anymore. It takes too much work to cover up a mess.
Yes.
Now I just give it to the Lord. Like here it is. Like I'm a mess. I'm jacked up. Like help me. Right?
Pretty much.
But I just wondered, like accountable. Like why aren't we holding people accountable? Why are we like lowering the standard? Why is that? You think it's too hard? It's really hard to hold people accountable.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Hold leadership accountable. Because churches do the same thing, right? We sweep things under the rug because we don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Or the effects of what happened. Like, so we just,
It's crazy. I don't know. I feel like I think about that a lot, but I don't have the answer. I don't know.
We do have to hold one another accountable. If something is wrong, right? I think we have a responsibility as human beings to say something.
Yeah.
Right? If I know you're being hurt, I have a responsibility as a human being. We're not even talking about a Christ follower, but a human being to say, hey, something's off here. We need to fix it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to help you do whatever I can. Like,
exactly.
But first I'm just like, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Thanks.
But it made you
you don't have to be, but thank you.
But it made you a better parent, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 100%.
How old are your kiddos?
2 and almost 1.
Oh, you got new babies.
Yeah.
Oh,
little.
Phew, them days are long over in our house.
Ugh.
It's one. I miss that though.
I'm so scared. Like, I get so emotional as a mother. Like, I don't want them to grow up. I do, but I don't. Like, it's so bittersweet.
Man, I know. It's like beating a dead horse with me when it comes to my kids. But there was like 6, 7 years where I felt like I was there, but I wasn't there.
Yeah. Oh, me too.
Like, I'm so driven to, I got to do this and do that in ministry and blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm truly I would do anything to go back to having like my 5-year-old Dawson or my 3-year-old Emma. I would do anything.
Yeah.
So enjoy it.
I'm trying.
And it goes
Absolutely.
by. It really, doesn't it go by fast, Tammy? It really does. He's got like 13 kids.
Oh, wow.
Bless his heart. But okay, so where were we at? We're in high school.
Yeah.
Was that what I think?
And I would say, okay, so in high school, I'd say another thing that kind of helped me be a good mom now, or, at least try to be a good mom and prepared me to be a mom, is I kind of had like the responsibility of the mother figure with my younger siblings, the younger two.
Okay.
Just because my mom was like, out with her friends, drinking, doing things like that. And a couple of times, like, she wouldn't come home, like, and I wouldn't know where she was. Like, I would have to go out looking for her, like, stuff like that. It's just, I don't know, crazy. I mean, I try to dissect both of my parents, really. Like, I try to like have a heart for the things that they did, because I try to think about their past and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's very complicated.
It is, but I can just imagine people who are on the other side of the camera, like they're hearing this and like, crap, that's my life right now too.
Yeah.
So how old were you when mom wasn't coming home?
I would say probably 15, 16. 17 is when I started kind of like getting in trouble. I started drinking myself.
Keely was getting in trouble.
I did. I actually got on informal probation at the age of 17. Yes.
We have a felon with us.
I'm kidding. Not on my record.
I'm kidding.
But like my mom just like wasn't really there, and it's just like I don't know. I was like dealing with a lot or something, and just hanging out with older people. So yeah, had gotten in trouble in Indy at a party. Like why I was in Indy as a high school student, no idea. But
really,
yeah.
What part of Indy? Do you remember? What street?
I can tell you the hospital that I had to go to.
Okay.
Elwood. I don't know, around there.
Elwood Hospital.
Or Eskenazi.
Eskenazi is probably what it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I was heavily intoxicated, bad. Probably, honestly, like a near-death situation. Probably.
Really? So you got pumped? Is that what you did?
I don't think so, but they said that I blew a .23, which is quite a bit for...
Is that bad, Timmy?
I was .19 when I got my DUI.
Okay. What's the legal limit nowadays?
08.
.08? Is that like 1 beer or 2 beers? Like, what's .08?
I don't
Anybody
know.
Just depends. Everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
A guy like me, 210 pounds. What's it going to take to get me a .08? I don't drink.
So right now you could have 2-3 beers and you'd be there.
Okay, yeah. And by the way, I want to be like crystal clear. Like I don't drink. Okay. One, I just there's a couple reasons why I don't drink, and I know this is totally going to like frustrate people, because when I tell people I don't drink, they're like, "What?" I don't know why our culture is set around drinking alcohol, but whatever. The reason why I don't is, one, I have an addictive personality. So like, I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'm gonna be a freaking alcoholic. Like I just know that. I just know that. And then my wife's grandfather died of that. Like he drank himself to death. Like it's just something I don't play with.
Well, you can get spiritual with that too.
We can get spiritual with it too. Go ahead, preacher. Go ahead.
Well, just the fact that, I don't know, I've seen a lot of things, read a lot of things just about how like it's just kind of ironic that they call it spirits, because it's like when you drink, you consume alcohol, it's like, and I truly believe this, I'll kind of get into it more later, like with my dad's story, but I believe that drugs, alcohol absolutely open you up to spirits, demons, whatever. That might be a little too real, but I really do, because it's just like, I feel like your mind, your body is just vulnerable to energies like that. And it's like you don't have your guard up anymore. Like anything can affect you like that.
And people always assume, right, that because I don't drink, like I'm judging other people who do drink. If you drink, you do you, boo, whatever. I don't. I mean, I don't. Whatever it is, like I would say, please monitor it and be. It's just like anything. It's just like anything too with energy drinks or the food that I eat. Like you see pastors who are. I'm not trying to make fun of, but who are extremely overweight and they're telling you not to consume alcohol. And I'm like, bro, you need to quit that mess. You need to get your life together before I mean, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, but I don't know how we got on that little bender thing because you were in Eskenazi and you were drunk. 0.2 something.
They literally chained my feet to the bed. Like it was like that. Like
wow.
Just crazy.
So you're 17 at the time?
Yeah.
Mom and dad or whatever, they're doing their own thing. And
so I think I said this. My parents were divorced.
Yeah.
Okay. So my mom had this boyfriend and she ended up having to drive to Indy to pick me up, but with her new boyfriend.
Oh, the new one.
Haven't met him before.
Okay.
So they picked me up because I had to go to the hospital and then they took me to like a juvenile center.
Okay.
Which I was so out of it. I didn't even know where I was. They put me in a drunk tank and I didn't realize that's what it was. So I remember like sitting on the bench thinking, geez, like I'm really cold. I wish like the next time they check on me, I'm going to ask for a blanket. I'm like, no, you're in the drunk tank. Like you're supposed to be cold.
Yeah, you're sober up, young lady.
Yeah, pretty much. But my mom gets there and picks me up with this guy, haven't met yet. And the guy, like we're in the car or whatever driving home and I feel like crap. I know that I messed up. Like I have puke on my clothes. Like I'm out of it, you know, pretty much like hung over to the max or whatever. And like the new boyfriend's like kind of like preaching at me, like kind of yelling at me. And like, I'm pretty sure he cussed at me and that's like, it set me off. And I like asked my mom, like, how can you let this man, I don't even know, like talk to me like this? Like, but I think for her, she just, you know, wanted to portray like, look, I disciplined my child. I don't know. Because she ended up taking me around to family members' houses in the condition I was in, clothes I was in, puke on my clothes. And I don't know. She took me to my grandma's house, very religious woman.
Come on, grandma.
She did. I mean, she, you know, I'm pretty sure she told me, you know, like, you messed up. What are you doing? You don't need to be doing this, which totally she had the right to do that.
She was right.
But I remember I was like in the living room sitting and my mom was in the kitchen like whispering about me and I was just, oh man, I was so mad. And then she ended up taking me to my dad's after that.
Okay.
And then I should have mentioned this too. Both my parents, pretty big alcoholics. I mean, I don't know so much my dad, not throughout the week he wouldn't because he worked all week.
Sure.
But my mom pretty much anytime. So she took me to my dad's and my dad is pretty much just like, I'm glad you're okay. And like my mom's boyfriend is trying to say stuff to me in front of my dad.
Uh-oh.
And I was just like, listen, guy, like you're not my dad. So like I get it. I messed up, but this is my dad's job. Like let him do what he needs to do or whatever. So I don't know. Then that kind of like started a big mess with my mom. I just felt like she like kind of any chance she got, she just tried to like really stick it to me with anything, which I don't know. I feel like the only reason that I was out of control is because like I didn't get that motherly love from her. Like I didn't even have her attention. Nothing could get her attention, it seemed like. I don't know. And then I actually didn't mention this, but for, I think it was my senior year, I lived with Darson and his family actually.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Here in town?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was around the time that his parents got divorced. So I'm actually like related to his dad, but I was living with him and his mom.
Interesting.
So I have a great relationship with her, though. Like, she was very vital during that time.
Good people.
Such good people. I love them so much. I lived with my dad then, too, because I think I felt just kind of like, I love you guys, but, like, you know, I want to be with family. I want to feel normal.
Yeah.
So I moved in with my dad for a little bit, and that was good, but I feel like he kind of tried to, you know, like catch up on the time that he didn't have. So he kind of treated me just like I was a little kid. And I was like, Dad, like, you know, I'm graduating. I'm 18. So I had to move out of there. I think I moved in with my grandma, actually, to end out my senior year.
Well, aren't you thankful for Grandma and Grandpa's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very. Yeah, I lived with her and then went to Vincennes for college. So 4 hours away south, just because I just wanted to get out away from anyone that I knew. Like, just wanted the space, I guess. And actually, while I was at college, my dad started kind of going through some things, and he like just started hanging out with people he shouldn't. He started doing like very hard drugs, bad drugs. And I'll say it. It was meth.
Mm-hmm. I was going to ask. I was just coming to this. So what was the hard drugs? It was meth.
Yep, it was meth. And
how old your dad at the time?
40s, early 40s, I would say. Maybe late 30s. But like to look at my dad, like, and just to know him, it's like, that is so out of character. Like, there's no way. Like, what? This is crazy. He actually had to go to a mental institute because I think he had a psychic or psychiatric break or whatever. Like he said, he could hear voices on the radio. He could hear his family talking about him. He could hear me talking about him, my grandma talking about him. And we were like so close. Like, I don't know. I just respected him so much because even when he was doing those kind of things, like he would tell me, like there was a point where he stopped or whatever. He stopped doing it. And then he did it again. When I was visiting him at his house, like he never did anything in front of me or anything like that. But he told me like, Keely, I did that stupid stuff again. And it made me cry. I was like, why would you do that? Like, because I think, I don't know, I've always had, or I always did have a fear of him dying, which is crazy. And I always used to tell him, like, I always told him, like, you have to be here because, like, who's going to walk me down the aisle when I get married? Like, so you have to be here. Like, I told him that probably a handful of times.
Yeah.
And, like, there were a couple times when he would say something about, like, you know, like, well, okay, he had, like, a feud going on with his neighbor. They were friends at one point, and then I think when he started doing that stuff, it just kind of messed with his head pretty badly. So in his mind, like, his neighbor was taunting him in a way. Like, he thought his neighbor was, like, turning his lights on and off just to mess with him, and, like, just, you know, they'd be yelling at each other across the yard, just stuff like that, like, just ridiculous stuff. And I don't know, I truly think that my dad was like tormented by the devil. Truly, I really do, because I don't know, it was just such like a character change for him completely. And like he had told my grandma that he heard voices and stuff. And I don't know, again, like that was just so out of character. Like that's not my dad, who he was at all. Like he was always so fun loving, so goofy, like the biggest heart. I miss him so much. Like, it's crazy.
Which is part of the story, right? It's,
yeah.
What year was this? If you can think of, take your time. There's no rush here.
When he first started talking about the voices and stuff.
Yeah. Like, when did you notice that shift? Like something's not right here.
I was in college and like I'd gotten a call from my grandma. And she, like, told me he was in the mental institute. He had to go stay or something, detox. And I had to call him while he was in there. I didn't have to, but I was like, I'm going to talk to him. I have to see how he's doing. And I'm pretty sure this was probably 2018, I would say, because I graduated from BU 2018. So maybe around then, I would say. Okay. So, okay, that happened. And then when I graduated, my dad actually came down to Vincent. Like, he was fine. He was acting himself and everything. Like, helped me move back up here. I lived with him again for a short period. Because, like, I was looking for jobs and everything. And, like, sometimes I felt like he kind of acted weird or just paranoid. For sure. Like, I noticed that a lot, I would say.
Can you kind of break that down, like what paranoia was like for him?
Okay, so there's a situation or a scenario where I had tickets to a Comets game. And this is kind of like paranoia, but also like a good story of him, I guess. So we went to the game. We're sitting in the seats or whatever, and like I'm just watching the hockey players, like watching the game or whatever. And my dad's like, "You see that up there?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Like the screen?" He's like, "No, the camera." He could always point out cameras. Mm-hmm. Anywhere he went, he knew where the cameras were. Just kind of crazy. I don't know. Which, I mean, I feel like he was on to some things because it is kind of crazy how we are, there's surveillance everywhere.
Sure.
But just for him to be so worried about it was a little unnerving for sure. Mm-hmm. But then like the good side of that story, this just kind of like speaks about his character a little bit and why I loved him so much. So like we were watching the hockey game and I remember telling him like, "Oh, like they're about to fight. I love that. I love watching them fight." And he just like looked over at me and he's like, "Why? Mm-hmm. Like, why do people like to watch that?" Mm-hmm. And he's like, "That's kind of like what's wrong with society." And I was like, "Dang, Dad, like
why
you're
so
right."
deep, Dad?
I know, like
it's just hockey.
Literally, like that was him though. Like just he was like sneaky with it, but so like on point with it too. Yeah. Like always just like thought provoking a little bit, I think.
Why, Keely? Why do you like to watch
pretty much. And I was like, "Dang, Dad, you're right." Like
it's hockey, Dad. I like it. Whatever.
Yeah. But I don't know. So I guess that paranoid about cameras and I don't know. He didn't really tell me too much that he heard voices, but he did tell my grandma and like she tried. She told him like, "Do you want to go get help?" But he didn't want to. He didn't want to be medicated. He didn't want help, but I've talked with my grandpa just a tiny bit about it. And we all kind of think that it was the aftermath of the drugs because at the time that he died, I haven't really talked about that much yet, but I will. He didn't have anything in his system. Nothing like that. He wasn't doing anything for years, probably. But, so I guess, I'll go back to how I lived with him for a short period of time when I first moved back up here from college. And he helped me move into my apartment in Fort Wayne. I got a job in Fort Wayne, all that. And then eventually 2019, I met Cal, who I have my children with, my boyfriend.
Your boyfriend who won't ask you to marry him yet. He's waiting.
Not yet.
He's waiting for that special. There's a moment. It's coming. It's coming.
He's going to be like, "I knew you would bring that up."
It's coming.
Because I'm just so annoying about it, but it's all in good fun.
December 25th is a good day to do that, bud.
So.
Or January 1st, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully. So, met Cal. We had our daughter. We only have one daughter. We had her in 2021 in August. And my daughter was 6 weeks old, and I, took her to meet my dad and my grandma. And my great-great-grandma wasn't doing too well. My dad was very close with her. Mm-hmm. But we had like a 5 generations, day where all of us hung out at the great-great-grandma's house. And my dad, I could tell he was just kind of acting like strange. That's the only way that I can explain it. Just strange. Yeah. Like, I don't know. But he like played with my daughter's hands. And I just have like an image of that so well of him like playing with her hands. It was like the softest I've ever seen him be. Like he like melted into a puddle. And then so when we said bye that day, he hugged me and he kissed me on top of my head. And my dad, he was affectionate. He would say, "I love you. I love you. I'm proud of you." He was never shy to say any of that, but he'd never kissed me on top of my head. And I was just like, that's kind of crazy. Like, but also I was so like newly postpartum that I think I was like hardly really there. Like I thought it was just me that noticed like how that he hugged me a little bit longer than usual. And, because I think I needed it too.
Sure.
But that was the last time that I saw him. Because then when my daughter was 3 months old, I got a call from my grandma. Actually, it was someone left a message. I think it was one of my uncles left a message on my phone, and they were like, "You need to call your grandma." And like something in my heart, like I knew something happened, and I knew it was my dad.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get a hold of my grandma. So I kind of had to like call around, like call her sister. I got a hold of her, and basically my Aunt Donna was just like, you need to call your grandma. Like, you need to get a hold of her. So I did. So I called my grandma, and pretty much the first words that she says is, and this is, I think, just her being in the moment. You know, she didn't have time for sensitivity. She said, your dad blew his head off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And like that, like, brought me to my knees. Like, I just remember falling down on the ground and literally like punching the floor. Just because I was so mad that he was gone. And it's like such a permanent thing.
Yep.
But yeah, we think that he did it on a Tuesday night, which would be November 9th. After he got off work, we think that he did it late at night. And he shot himself in the head, laying in bed. And he wasn't found for a couple days. So it's always just kind of crazy. Like, from the 9th to the 12th is just not good for me, because I just think about, like, how my dad was just, like, laying there for a couple days, like, and I don't know. I have a lot of trouble just, like, you know, you try to, like, investigate and try to put the pieces together, but it's just, like, I think he just kind of felt like his mind was so damaged that he couldn't go back. Like, he couldn't fix it or anything like that. So I think that was his way of just, I don't know, taking matters into his own hands, I guess. But it's just like, for me, like, as a parent, if I ever get down, like, all I have to do is look at my kid's face, and like, there's no way that I could do something like that. But my grandma, because my grandma and I kind of, we try to play investigator with each other, you know. I think it's kind of like therapeutic for us. She always just kind of reminds me, like, he wasn't right. Like, that wasn't him. He wasn't right in his mind.
Sure.
But I don't know. I think when I had my daughter, that would be the first point of when I was like, I need God in my life. Like, I cannot do this alone, because I was so, like, things were out of my control. Again, like they had been so many times growing up. So I kind of started, I guess, like, watching YouTube videos, kind of searching, trying to learn more, which I kind of had a past of, like, going to church there for a little bit, but just not genuine.
Sure.
You know? But then my dad dying that way, and just him doing that definitely pushed me to, like, I don't just want God, like, I need God in my life. Like, I don't know, it's like a daily thing I find myself. I don't think that I read my Bible as much as I should or anything like that. But I definitely talk to God every day. And, like, if I have problems, like, I ask him for help, or if something great happens, I thank him. Like, so I feel like the effort is there, you know, the curiosity is there, but I don't know. It's messy.
It is messy.
Yeah.
And when your dad passed, when was that?
It was November 2021.
2021.
Yep.
So how was it last November? Like this past November? Because it was like 25 days ago.
Right.
November 9th and 12th or whatever.
It really doesn't get easier every year. I feel like my grandma says it too. People always tell her it'll get easier, but it really doesn't. Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some days you can go and it's like, I know this happened, like, and I can continue, but some days it's just like you're sad. Like, you just cry, you just miss him. Like, I miss him so much. Like, we just had, like, the best talks, and, like, I just feel like he was that, like, male love that I needed. Like, the genuine, real male love. And, like, the male love that I could trust, really.
Sure. Yeah, there's no, like, an agenda with daddy's love. Like,
yeah,
it's as genuine as it comes.
Yeah.
In most cases, anyways.
Yeah. And protective, too. He was so protective. It was funny to me because, I don't know, I just thought it was hilarious. Like, we couldn't go anywhere in public without him being like, people stare at you. I'm like, what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
no, they don't. You're just overprotective. Like, you're just.
I don't know. I pretty much say the same thing to my kids. Like, right? Tim, do you do the same thing? Like,
It's got to be a dad thing.
it must
for
be
sure.
because I'm just like, babe, you always got to make sure you're aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
You go anywhere, you got to make sure you look to your right, left, look behind you. You got to make sure you're aware all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
Pretty much.
Get those stinking headphones off your head so you can listen.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, it's because we live in a very, very crazy world.
Just fallen. Yeah. I don't know. It's just people are not well.
No, I mean,
at all.
I mean, even I think people, like, even if it's not, like, if you're not looking through the lens of faith, like, there's just evil. Like, it's there. If you're not even a spiritual person, you know something's declining. Like, society is in a decline.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be spiritual to know that.
I feel like it's like almost romanticized too. Like, it's cool to like the dark things and like to be dark. Like, it's just so twisted to me. Like, not that I'm like so much better or something, but it's just like things that are trying to be normalized right now. Like, it's just like, where's your mind? Like, how?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't understand.
That's a good way to put it. Like, that's not okay. Like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
That's not normal from any lens that you look. That's just not normal.
Exactly.
But what was your daddy's name? Nick
Carter.
Okay.
He was 44 when he died.
Did you receive any shame for the way that he had passed? Was there any shame there?
Absolutely, because I was, like I said, postpartum. So I feel like I was just in the trenches, just trying to figure out how to be a mom, how to just get my like mental under wraps. And I don't know. I feel like I maybe didn't talk to him as much, but like it wasn't intentional at all. And he also, towards the end, he got like very grouchy. And I thought it was just like, oh, he's getting older. He's just, turning into an old man.
He's just 40. Like
Yeah.
Gosh, okay. We must be like old as dirt around here. Daggone.
I don't know. I didn't catch it, I guess.
Yeah.
So there's definitely guilt with that. Like, I wish I would have caught it. I wish I would have known that it was that bad for him because I had no idea. Also, I want to say this too. I hadn't seen him. So he met my daughter and everything when she was 6 weeks old. But then in October, I received a text from him, and it said, "How does this remote work?" And then another one was, "You're a C word, C-U-N-T." And I was just like, whoa.
Oh, this your dad texted?
My dad, yeah. So I texted it back, and I was like, "Dad, this is Keely. Like, did you mean to send me that?" And I didn't get anything back from him. So I don't know if something in his head told him or if he meant to send that to someone else. But I think about that too, because that was the last text that I received from him. And it's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Sure.
So it really shouldn't be something that I hold on to or worry about. And it's not for the most part, because I know it wasn't him, but still, it's still there. It still happened.
Sure.
But I don't know.
So here's Keely as a young 6-7-year-old going through the tragedy of being sexually abused, being exposed to pornography, absent parents. Is it safe to say that?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I think my dad wanted to be there. He just didn't have the circumstance. Like, parents had split, like he had to work. I don't know. I definitely have anger there because I feel like I was cut short of time with him, for sure.
Yeah.
I know that I didn't know how my mom and dad's relationship was because I was such a baby, I was so little, but still, it's still there. Like, why couldn't you guys have stayed together and, maybe work things out? And I think my mom has actually said that before. We don't have a relationship now. Like,
Oh, you and your mother?
Yeah.
Okay.
After my dad died, everything changed. The whole family dynamic, everything changed. I think my mom tried to be there, but I just think that she maybe has a tendency to make things about her a little bit. Maybe not intentionally, but she definitely did.
Yeah.
And I don't know. For me, I needed and still needs space because I kind of like take on what she feels, and I don't have the space for that at all. Like I have a lot that I deal with. I try to overcome myself, so I can't take on hers.
I get it.
Yeah.
So do you think there'll ever be a point of like reconciliation?
I mean, yes, I love my mom. I'll never say that I don't. She brought me into the world, you know, like gave birth to me, but I don't know because it's like I need my peace really bad. And it just seems like when she's in my life, there isn't peace. Because she kind of, I feel like deep down, kind of pushes for me to not be like, I don't want this to be like, I'm
just
like,
speak from your heart. What are you
it
feeling?
just seems like maybe she puts her guilt onto me a little bit and kind of wishes, I can tell that she wishes she did things differently, but sometimes it's almost like she wants me to do what she did, so I experience what she experienced, just for me to have an idea of what it was like for her maybe, but I don't know. It's very complicated. It's very messy, so it's just like it's easiest for me to just keep a distance.
No, I get it. So like relationships are absolutely beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
But they're freaking hard too.
So hard.
They're really hard, especially with family.
Yeah.
Because I like what you said. Like you need your peace. And to say, unfortunately, Mom, like I can't give you the space right now because like I need peace in my life. I have 2 babies I'm raising. Like I cannot have that in my house.
Yeah.
Do you feel good about saying that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Just because like the parenting style is so different and like there's just a lot that comes with being a parent. You butt heads with your family because you don't do things the same way. They think you do it wrong, but it's just that you do it different. Like,
oh yeah,
there's just so much.
It is.
To it.
How old are you?
26.
26. So how has the impact of your relationship with your mom, with your father, impacted the relationship that you have with what's his name? Cole?
Cal.
With Cal and your 2 babies. Like,
I think it was hard at first to see him with my daughter. It almost made me sad every time. Like I could see them bonding, but I like switched that up in my mind. I was like, no, it should not be like that at all. If anything, I should be so happy that she has this. She has this time with her dad. She gets to bond with her dad, laugh with her dad, love her dad. And he's such a good dad. Like he gives both the kids love. Like not like he's shy to give it either. Like I feel like my dad was a little bit shy. Mainly, I mean, I don't think he deserved it or experienced it when he was younger. So maybe he didn't know how to do that.
Okay, so let me so I think I may have misunderstood you when you were saying that.
Yeah.
So your children with Cal, there was like resentment because like I
think freshly from it happening, I think so.
Okay.
Just because it was like triggering or whatever.
Yeah.
Just like, ouch.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah. But I knew in my mind, like, that's not right. Like,
But it's a real emotion too, though, right?
Yeah.
It's like, crap. Okay, Cal.
Pretty much. Like, it was just like, dang, like, she has this, and I'm just totally missing all of this right now. But I'm so glad that she has that. Like, I do not ever want her to experience anything that I did at all. Losing her dad. Yeah, no, I can tell that she loves her daddy the way I loved mine. Like,
yeah. What about you and Cal's relationship, though? Because, like, you haven't necessarily seen, like, the perfect modeled relationship, right? You've seen...
Right. I was going to say that, too.
Revolving door, hit and miss.
I've never seen a healthy relationship, ever.
So how do you and Cal have a healthy relationship?
I would not say that we're perfect at all, but I would say that we communicate when we know that things are not right. Like, it's definitely... We're constantly working at it, and we know what is right and what is not right. And I mean, he knows my background, so he knows that it's probably pretty hard for me, but
yeah, well, because it's like hard not to take like toxicity that you had in this relationship and bring it into another relationship. you know, like the relationship we have with our parents, we reflected on God. And there's always like, so like, I'm just trying to figure out what that relationship, how has it impacted the relationship you and Cal have with your, you know, you and your kids? How hard is it to navigate? Like, man, why do I have all these emotions in my head? I don't know what I'm supposed to do, or I never had it modeled in my life. So I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, because we have not necessarily similar stories, but, you know, growing up not knowing who my father was, just a lot of toxicity there, relationships, seeing things as a young boy you shouldn't see. And then, because I was I feel like I can honestly say this, I was a piss poor father when I had my kids.
Yeah.
Maybe we all are. I don't know. Like, maybe Timmy, maybe you over there shaking his head. Maybe we just all are, and through time we learn. Like, but I don't feel like I didn't have a freaking clue what I was doing.
Yeah, and I didn't either. Like when I became a mother, like it was in the middle of COVID, of all things. Like all these restrictions, just crazy. You feel like the world is crumbling, and you have no idea what's going on. So like literally, YouTube taught me like how to like what to expect to be a mom.
Yeah, I can see you googling it. How do I?
Literally though,
right? What do I do when?
No clue.
But yeah, no, I get it. No, I appreciate you sharing. Like, you know, it's unfortunate that relationships are so hard sometimes, but it is what it is. They're not going to get any easier.
Yeah.
But I think it helps us grow and mature. Yet you learn, a lot of times you learn what not to do and what to do, right? Some things are caught, some things are taught. Like a lot of people don't have to tell you what to do. Now you just know what to do because you've seen it. Like you've seen what not to do.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think it's tragic. It's unfortunate, but it's your story. What do you think? What's the hardest part about sharing that story? Like, what do you, because you've never really dived into all your story before, right? Like this is like one of the first times. So like, what are you feeling on the inside?
Honestly, relief, because I've always kind of wanted to just lay it all out there, however messy it is. Like, I don't know.
I don't want people who are watching the show to understand, like, we don't stage like these conversations.
Yeah.
So this is as real and as real as it can get. Totally vulnerable, transparent conversation. So I appreciate you letting go and being okay. This is Keely.
Pretty much. I am seeking a therapist right now.
Well, good. Yeah, I mean, we all should be, really, honestly. But good. And I pray you find the right one.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be important for all of us, especially Pastor Timmy over there we all need therapy. You know, I believe in prayer. I believe I believe in all that, but I also believe it's amazing to have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, just to untangle the things in your head, and just like I personally want someone to be like, well, this is why you do this, and this is how you can fix this. Like, so I know full well that I need therapy, and it would help me. So I don't know.
There's a lot of trauma there.
Definitely.
A lot of trauma there.
And I don't want to take it out on my family.
No.
That's the biggest thing for me. So, yeah.
That's a mature decision.
Yeah.
That's a decision from somebody who's been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Been through some stuff, some really hard stuff. But let's talk about real quick, and we'll kind of land the plane, if you will. What's the dream for the family? You and your kids and Cal, who's waiting so patiently to...
I guess the dream is just to have a long, healthy life together. That's really all I want. Long, healthy, happy life. I know it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshine.
Oh, it's not?
No, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know.
What disciplines do you have in place to see that through? That's a big question.
Mainly because I feel like I can only worry about myself at this point. So just holding myself accountable of like the things that I know I do wrong, fixing them. Like, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Holding yourself accountable, holding yourself accountable in your relationships, holding yourself accountable as a mom.
Yeah.
Soon to be wife.
We need the crickets.
Sorry, where's the crickets at? The first proposal on Walnut Street podcast coming next week. No, I'm very, very thankful, Keely, for sharing the hard stuff.
Thank you for giving me the platform too. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I want you to just take your time, and I want you, for somebody who's walking through like your story right now, who's living it like right now, what do you say to them?
Talk about it. Like, get it off your chest. I feel like that's the best medicine, is just to talk about it. Really. Don't hide it, hold it in, because that just, I feel like, just builds up. And you'll see like the bad outcomes of it quickly.
I know that's true. That's the truth. Talk about it. What about people who are being abused sexually, mentally, physically? Who do you tell? And how do you have enough courage to do it?
I don't know. I mean,
where do you find the courage to do it?
You have to within yourself, really, or I don't know. Definitely like talk to God about it. I feel like if you talk to God about anything, you'll eventually have a sign from him. Like the whole ask and you shall receive. I truly believe in that. Because I don't know, just with anything, I feel like he comes through every time. It might not be obvious, but you'll get it.
Amen. What else you want to say today, Kaylee?
Keely.
Oh, gosh. Here we are an hour later. I'm still saying Kaylee.
I don't get offended at all because it's so natural now. I'm just like, Keely.
Can we just change it? Are we good? Are we good with Kaylee at this point?
Sure.
Okay.
Kelly.
Kelly. You call me whatever. I really don't care. It really doesn't bother me. But like, what else is on your heart? Anything?
Not really. I don't know. I guess I'm always an open ear if anyone is like experiencing abuse or has in the past. I definitely want to be like an advocate for that, or even like survivors of suicide. I absolutely want to find that community for sure.
Oh, wow. That's a good point.
Like I tried to go to an event, but I had like bridesmaids duties that weekend. But I know that there's like events and stuff that you can go to. So definitely that stuff too.
How do people find you and your business?
Actually.
Oh, do you have a business card?
I do.
Oh, great. Folks, she has a business card.
I don't know. I usually actually stick these suckers everywhere.
Okay. Keely Carter.
Yep.
What's the L?
Lene.
Keely Lene Carter.
Yep.
Graphic designer, photographer. Call now, 260-901.
No.
I didn't give the last two. Was that good? Was that good?
That was good.
That's cool. Well, Keely, if you don't have anything left on your heart to say and you feel, we've heard this before, right? People who leave the podcast are like, I feel like I've been healed from sharing my story. Like there's healing coming from that. So like genuinely, I pray like you feel some sort of just an aha moment of just like, oh, that felt good to just share that.
Yeah.
And I know and I don't tell it to a lot of people, when people are vulnerable and transparent, you'll walk out the door feeling like, should I have said that?
Yeah.
Should I have said that?
I figured that, yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah.
You're going to be on your way home and you're like, oh, bleep, why did I say that for? But
I mean, I'll just take it as it comes because I know everything is, I don't know. I'm so like, I know that I can be misunderstood. I know that. I mean, it's happened multiple times. I feel like just if you like present yourself in a clean way, people think, oh, nothing bad's ever happened to that person. So that's happened to me a couple times. I don't know. It is what it is. Like
it is what it is.
That's my story. Like
it is what it is. And there ain't nobody sitting in this room that ain't been through some stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So,
right.
Keely, thanks for joining us on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Kicking us off an episode, or season 2. I think this is going to be the second episode of season 2. So,
nice.
Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you sharing your story. And we're praying for you and Cal.
Thank you.
And your babies, your family. And yeah, so guys, thanks so much for watching Walnut Street Podcast. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Tune in next week for episode number 3.